Here's a great way to jazz up your good old green beans. I'm going to make them shine by serving them with a whipped creme fraiche and goat's cheese sauce. It is delicious. Now we need to cook our green beans. I don't want these green beans overcooked, so have a bowl of icy water on standby. We just want to blanch them. So for this recipe, I need 3 large handfuls of green beans. You can see that they're really nice and fresh because they're shiny and they're firm and there's no stains on them. Also, when you're preparing your green beans, just take off one of the tips and leave the nice skinny end. I think that's really nice for presentation. So we'll place them in our rapidly boiling water. Good pinch of salt in here too. And then when they say blanching vegetables, the timing can vary depending on what pot you have. The general rule is once this comes back up to the boil, it's time to remove them from the water. Now while the beans are cooking, we can get onto the creme fraiche and goat's cheese. Creme fraiche is great for sauces because it's got that mild tangy flavour. I love it. We used to always use it in France for dressings just like this, and now it's readily available here in Australia. So we need a few generous spoonfuls of the creme fraiche into my cuisine companion bowl. And then just to stabilise this when we whip it, I love the addition of some thickened cream. So we just need a tablespoon of that thickened cream. 100 grams of mild goat's cheese. We don't want it to overpower the cream. We want it to work with the cream. So a nice mild one. Break that up into the bowl. And then for an interesting touch, I'm adding some mint, and not some fresh mint, some dried mint. I love the really fresh flavour of it that goes nicely with the green beans and the balsamic that I'll be using in the dressing later. A pinch of salt and some cracked pepper. Now we need to whip this for a few seconds. You really want to keep an eye on it because if you over whip it, then it's going to be really grainy and split. So we'll start on a low speed. And I'm going to watch it like a hawk. All right, I think it looks pretty good. Oh yeah, that looks wonderful. It's glossy, it's light, it's perfectly whipped. I'm gonna have a little taste. Simple ingredients like that coming together is just such a wonderful way of just adding a little bit of extra to a good old classic vegetable. See how that's come up to the boil now? We can quickly remove that from that water. See, they're still quite vibrant in colour, but place them in that cold water so they hold that beautiful vibrant green colour. So halting the cooking process immediately. And then just get that ice, just cover them completely and they'll cool down straight away. And now I love the addition of balsamic vinegar. This is the acidic component to this dressing. Good quality aged balsamic if you can get your hands on some, along with some garlic, just 1 clove of garlic, finely minced. And then to bring it all together, some extra virgin olive oil, slowly whisking it together. Just a little bit of oil. I do want it to be really pungent from that balsamic. Now it's time to mix the beans with the balsamic dressing. So in another bowl, we'll just drain off the beans, just making sure you don't get any of that ice, into the bowl. A few more. And then we'll just pour our balsamic dressing over the top. My mum would serve this to us sometimes and it was so delicious with roast chook. That garlic, balsamic and beans were just so nice together. The problem is Mum would always overcook the beans and I hated it. They'd become really squeaky. But if you keep them like this, really crunchy, it's so delicious. Sorry, Mum. So now we're just going to toss that in the dressing. I'll add a pinch of salt and another toss. Look how glossy they are. And they're ready to go. So now let's get the showstopper on the plate, which is the creme fraiche dressing. And then just with the spatula, I'm going to get a generous amount of this thickened whipped cream, place it into a shallow bowl, a little bit more because I love it with these beans. And then just with the back of the spatula, just twist the bowl around and spread it all the way to the sides, just so we're making a little nest for our beans. There you go, just on top. Nice big mound of them, pile them up. with a spoon, just gather some of that balsamic dressing and just pour it over. Have you ever seen beans look more divine than they do now? That delicious whipped tangy goat's cheese and creme fraiche, absolutely perfect with crunchy, not too soft, crunchy beans.